Here's your Alabama WX weather video for this Sunday, the 25th of June in 2023. I'm meteorologist Bill Murray. Greetings from Tybee Island, Georgia, where we are enjoying the sun and sand down here in the week ahead. Little note to our friends on the Alabama Northwest Florida beaches. Beaches are much nicer back home, but we're glad to be here. It's back on this day in 1957 that Hurricane Audrey formed in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico, about 300 miles southeast of Brownsville, Texas. The newspaper in Alexandria, the Alexandria Daily Town Talk, captured the information about the hurricane, their afternoon edition. The Navy reconnaissance found that the system that they knew was a depression in the southwestern Gulf was already a hurricane, and just 2 days later it would become the seventh deadliest hurricane ever to hit the United States, making landfall near Cameron, Louisiana, in southwestern portion of the state, killing 416 people, and still just a tragic day in American history. Now, we're going to talk about the tropics here in a minute, but nothing like that threatening the United States. But look, as we record this video at just after midnight on early Sunday morning, look at all the heat advisories, heat watches, excessive heat warnings, all the way from southeastern Arizona, where, ironically, the Flagstaff recorded record lows, including 23 degrees Saturday morning at the National Weather Service office in Flagstaff. But these heat advisories, watches, and warnings extend all the way eastward to the western portion of Tennessee, a good bit of Mississippi, all of Louisiana points back to the west. Just really terrible heat. It's been there for better part of 10 days now. These are record highs forecast off the NDFD today there in West Texas. How about 112 degrees at Midland? 112 degrees. That's just ridiculous. But this heat will expand into Alabama in coming days. We talked about the tropics there. Brett, last advisory written by the National Hurricane Center at 5 p.m. on Sunday or Saturday. City is passing about 350 miles east of the islands early on this Sunday morning, but will begin to weaken over the next 48 to 72 hours. In fact, the Hurricane Center is forecasting that the system will dissipate by early Tuesday. Now, don't tell that to the GFS. The GFS believes that the system will actually strengthen. The European is wholeheartedly of the idea of dissipation, taking the system out in less than 48 hours. Here's the situation across North America and the United States and the upper pattern of the atmosphere, showing several disturbances moving up and over that big heat ridge there that's centered in western Texas and in northern Mexico early on this Sunday morning. This second disturbance moving into the Great Lakes today is going to be what's going to cause severe weather for us in Alabama today. Let's dig into that. The SPC, this is the day 2 from late tonight. Of course, that'll be updated early today, showing a risk there of a slight risk, which is the SPC's level 2 out of 5 risk for areas there basically west of a line from about Heflin down to Montgomery, Greenville, and to Chatham there. Well, probably, yeah, I would say Chatham, Washington County, probably. Back to the northwest, that's going to be a slight risk. We've got a slight area of marginal risk there, covering parts of the central Alabama back into the Mobile area. Notice that enhanced area up there to the north of us over Tennessee and Kentucky, and those are the storms that are going to be moving into Alabama. This is the HRRR coming up at about 2 p.m. On this Sunday, showing the storms moving into northwestern or northern Alabama at that point. They're just across the Tennessee border. The instabilities over the rest of the state are going to be really high, and bulk shear numbers are going to be decent for strong to organized severe storms. Damaging winds and hail are the threats. We don't have any threat of tornadoes, although we don't really like to say never anytime. Don't think that's going to be a problem. That first batch by 6 p.m. is south of Birmingham, moving through the Clanton area down through Auburn. It looks like the western half of Alabama might get through that system unscathed. I'm going to have to update my radio this morning for Tuscaloosa to talk about the threat of severe weather. So I would think that there's some chance that even western Alabama could get some of this activity in the first batch. We'll be up early watching that to see what happens. Now, this is at 9 p.m. tonight, Sunday night, showing this system moving into South Alabama, but another system knocking on our door from the northwest. Strong to severe thunderstorms at that point are just entering the northwest corner of Alabama, affecting much of northern and central Mississippi. And then as we get a little later in time, you can see that activity clearly into west central Alabama. Strong to severe storms expected. This will be 11 o'clock off the HRRR, and looks like that would be pretty threatening. Now, there's some discrepancy on what might happen on Monday. We're including a threat for severe weather on Monday at this point, but we'll have to watch that to see how it evolves. The HRRR believes that there won't be any strong thunderstorms in Alabama. This is 5 p.m. Monday, or 6 p.m. Monday. But while the NAM 3 kilometer, which has been doing a good job lately, does show scattered severe thunderstorms there in south central Alabama, developing perhaps as early as 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, most of that's borne out by the GFS, so we think this is all pretty likely. But by Tuesday, the front will be through Alabama, will be dry, high pressure moving in. Tuesday and Wednesday promising to be much warmer, high temperatures getting up into the lower middle 90s. Almost everybody in the middle 90s by Wednesday. It looks like there could be another northwest flow system moving into Alabama, probably during the mid to late afternoon, but it's going to be shunted down toward the Gulf Coast. Now, when we get to Thursday, look what's happening with that big heat ridge there over Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Oklahoma. It is flexing its muscles east, and we're going to be warming up here in Alabama. High temperatures on Thursday are going to be really close to 100 degrees. As you can see, we're mostly dry. You just have to imagine that there'll be an isolated shower or thunderstorm, though, with those kind of temperatures. Same thing on Friday. Maybe some scattered afternoon and evening thunderstorms developing, but high temperatures again pushing near 90 degrees or near 100 degrees. And then as we move into July on Saturday the 1st, very few, if any, in the way of showers and thunderstorms. Will still be hot, high temperatures in the middle 90s. And then as we move out to the voodoo period, into the period on the 7th, I show you this slide because Alabama looks pretty wet. Really, that whole week 2 period, the rain chances go back up as that ridge begins to break down. But the GFS has been hinting that we could see some sort of low-pressure system moving up over the western Gulf of Mexico, and the remaining moisture of that system is centered over the Alabama-Mississippi border by Friday the 7th at noon. So we'll see how that goes. The temperature is told off of the Mediagram from the National Blend of Models at the Birmingham International Airport, showing 90s the entire period, except right there at the end we get a little wetter on the 4th and 5th. Of course, that's the holiday, but look at those temperatures approaching and exceeding 100 degrees there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday across the area. We'll be talking tomorrow night to some nice folks, including Tim Bryce and Jen McNatt from the National Weather Service Southern Region, talking about a women's meteorology conference they have coming up that promises to be enlightening and hopefully groundbreaking. The Brady Bunch will be getting together with those guys without me tomorrow night. Going to have a fun show on Wednesday, July 5th when we come back. Also, we understand Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the SEC, and his daughter Hannah Strong will be joining us. She is a TV meteorologist in Louisville. That's going to be a fun show. The Weather Brains is the weekly netcast. It's all about weather. You can get it wherever you consume your podcast. Of course, you can watch it live when it's recorded. Next time that will happen will be on the 5th of July. No, that's not right. It'll be tomorrow night, the 26th of June, but then we'll do it again on the 5th of July. But that's your weather video for this Sunday, June 25th. I'll have notes on the blog and, of course, frequent updates throughout the day as we track these thunderstorms moving into Alabama from the north and northwest today, this afternoon, and tonight. And we'll be updating any of the severe weather parameters as we get into that. James will be back from vacation tomorrow. He'll have 2 a day. Scott will be here next Saturday. I'll see you next Sunday. And until I get that chance, as I always tell you, keep an eye to the sky because you'll always have something fun to look at.